Hello, this is your host, Sammy B. You are listening to From the Pitch to Purpose. It's all about transitions. That's what we talk about here. So I hope you enjoy this episode. I cannot wait for you guys to hear this. I will give you a disclaimer that we do cuss a lot in this episode. So if you have little ones around, please don't. And enjoy one of my favorite people that I've interviewed so far. Her name is Just Jaye, because that's what she wanted me to introduce her as, Jaye. So please enjoy my beautiful friend, Jaye. Jaye. Hi. Like, I knew you were going to be there, but then you were there, and I'm like, it's good.
I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Good. Me too. Okay, I literally just walked through the door,
Okay.
threw off all my clothes, put on something less teacher-like.
Killing it.
How are you today?
I'm good. Today, I'm good.
Today, I'm good.
How are you today?
Tired as fuck, and I have no idea why.
Hmm.
And my mom was just like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, we should check the house for mold. I don't know. We're both just like exhausted, but
Well,
weird, you know?
let yourself have that space, as you already know, and I don't have to tell you.
Yeah. I also have a toddler, so I mean,
Yeah.
I'm always gonna be
I'm
tired.
exhausting just hearing that you have a toddler.
Yeah, right? Like it's just she's at the what's that? Why phase.
Oh my God, the questions, bro.
Love it.
Oh,
Love it. And it's
I'm
really
glad
funny.
you do because I fucking hate questions. Am I allowed to
No,
cuss on this?
huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, great.
I already did.
Oh,
When I'm sitting next to my mom, she's always like, "Who's that? What's that?" that I'm looking at on Instagram, and it's
yeah.
the most annoying thing. And now I have to. Now my daughter's like, "What's that? Who's that? Is that a video?" No, 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 no. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hmm.
Obviously. What's it like?
I don't know. Or on TV, we were watching Dancing with the Stars. Who's that? What's their name? I'm like, I truly have no idea. Who sings this song? I wish I could tell you, child, but I can't.
But I've witnessed you like in your mom elementing, like even when you're like just answering things on calls or trying to speak and you're like so patient. I was not like that.
I have a high tolerance for, so I grew up around band geeks who are really annoying, so I have a high tolerance for annoying.
Okay.
And in band rooms. So my dad was a band teacher, so I would hear like ding 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 all the time. And he definitely shaped me into being a mom who can like really white noise. Like, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, sorry, you're calling me what? Because she's just like,
Yeah.
mom. And I'm just like, oh, how long have you been doing that? Because I've ignored you for a long time. Or same thing, living in Sweden, like I turn off my translator, like, because it's exhausting. Like when I'm there and it's like, I can understand if I focus a lot. So I'll turn it off sometimes and people will be talking directly to me. And I'm just like, oh, world, this is fun. So
Love it.
tell me then your biggest transition. Like, what's the one that you're like, yeah, that changed everything?
I feel like I always answer this question with my journey in recovery and how I came to the realization of needing to clean up in terms of not using prescription drugs and alcohol anymore. But I actually think that my biggest transition was, and this is something that I've been building a lot on right now, so it's kind of aligned, is allowing myself to have more and letting go of the shame around those things that I used to do and let myself be in awe of all that I can have and accomplish, being somebody who used to think none of those things were even possible for me. Like I'd be like, I don't even know how I'm gonna get a ride to probation next week, let alone think about having my own car, my own, just these small things that a lot of people never even had to deal with those things because like maybe maybe your parents just bought you a car when you were 16, or maybe you just like weren't making choices like that. So you were good to buy your own piece of shit when you were 18 or whatever, you know what I mean? But like those types of things weren't things that you thought about, let alone like, could I start building my own business and teaching my own classes that are dance fitness? And can I, help people in suicide prevention? And can I like all these different things I never would have thought. So allowing myself to know that those can be mine and I can have those things. There's no limit. Yeah. Like a mindset of like, Yeah, right, dude. Like,
Yeah,
that's a
like
joke to
dreaming,
me, bro.
literally dreaming. Like I remember actually one of the things that we're going to talk about is like accomplishments, and I don't think growing up I did all that. Like I don't think that I was like the only dream that I had as a kid was be a professional soccer player. And like did
Mhm.
it, check, and now I'm like no, no, now what? Like I don't know how to dream big for myself because even the stuff that I'm doing right now, even this conversation, like I have to just freaking do it. Or if I let my brain go and think like if I'm capable or all the things, and you know the cliche
Yeah,
of imposter syndrome,
right,
that's like surface level. But when it comes down to it, it's like who even thinks they're capable?
right.
And then not just think it, not just have it, but like then actually act on it. Because I think, yeah, some people are like, oh, you know, when they're watching something on TV, they're like, oh, I could do that. But then like to have the courage or even the foresight to figure out how to do it and then to do it, like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I think that it's an amazing journey, and it's like that's a really cool transition to be aware of.
yeah. Yeah, I never even would have thought that I would have like, I thought even a window for like college classes closed for me and not that I ever thought like, I don't know that I necessarily thought like, oh, you get to a point in life where you're too old for things, but I just didn't think those would be things that I would even try to get after, I guess.
Yeah, like even just thinking of them.
Yeah.
And there's a saying like if it was put in your brain then you're capable of it, like that, you know. And I think that I don't know that I acted on those types of sayings until this year. Like, you know, I'm
Mm.
like, whoa, yeah, that was put in my head, but you know, I think of a lot of things. Like my brain does not stop. Like right now there's probably a whole conversation going on back there that I'm fully unaware of, and then like I'll just
Right.
tune in sometimes and be like, oh, that was a great idea back there, you know.
Right.
And like that's my brain, and I'm always constantly thinking about these things, but like to actually move towards them with intention,
Yeah.
like that is a whole different ball game that people are just too scared to do. So kudos that you even first off there you even had the realization that that's a transition, because people don't until it's already done. You
Yeah.
know, you're like catching it in the middle, like I am transitioning into who I never thought I could be.
Hmm.
Like that's
Yeah.
just like a crazy, that's a crazy thing to stop in the middle of.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
so like
agree.
what parts of that are like surprising? What parts have you been like, huh, either I didn't think I could, or I just any type of surprise that has come along with that transition?
I think something that like comes up for me when we talk about like the ways we limit ourselves or like the thoughts that come up when we are like, but are you sure? Like, do you think you really could do that? Or what makes you think that you could do that? Like, for me, it's always been like, because I half-assed a lot of stuff, like as a teenager and young adult, I thought that I just wasn't driven enough to do or like go after certain things that I would need to like put a full effort into. And I never took the time to learn about like breaking down things to being small and attainable in order to do all of those things. And I just have, and it still comes up for me all the time. Like you're just not, you don't work hard enough. Like you're just not driven enough. You don't give it all of this. So like it probably won't turn out like this. But in that, you're already comparing yourself to like the way that more than likely someone else did it.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to turn out like that because you're going to make it your own and do it your own way. And then it's going to be yours. So like just drop all that bullshit and just do it anyways. And then just see what happens.
Yeah, just
And I
action.
think, yeah. And then so for me in that, like what was most like astounding, I guess for me that I could do was like when I was taking college courses towards mental health, one of the big time programs in our area is called Common Ground, and it's a nonprofit organization with like a bunch of different programs in it in terms of like substance abuse, domestic violence programs, suicide prevention, housing, like all these different things, filling out things for DHS because you don't know how, you've never been taught how to do those things by yourself, whatever, like, the list goes on. And that's like the big program you want to try to work for if you're in Oakland County and the mental health community is Common Ground. But then there's other things that you can do or programs that are available. And so, I mean, there's like a juvenile justice system where you can get your feet wet and those things if you want to work with, troubled youth, kids that are getting in trouble. And a lot of people have a passion for that. And I thought I did. And so for some reason, like those programs were always like, well, maybe when I get some kind of degree or in this process, I'll work for one of those little programs and maybe one day I'll be able to work for Common Ground. But I don't know about all that. And we did have a recruiter from one of the littler programs come in, and I did try that, and I hated it, and I fucking hated the kids. They were all pieces of shit. And I found out real quick that I did not want to work with teenage children it's teenage children that don't want help and they're in trouble.
It's different.
And I'm like, go fuck yourself. But also that was me. So it's just a bunch of little me's, but they were way worse off family wise and stuff like that. And bless their hearts. They were made this by their condition. But that shit was, I was not the 1, 2, or 3. You know what I'm saying? Like that just was not for me. So I was like, shit. And then we got hit with the pandemic. I had just dropped my little bullshit waitressing job that I had for 10 years. And then we get hit with the pandemic. I had just quit this job. And literally 2 days later, we went into, what the fuck did we call it? Hibernation, lockdown? Basically. Yeah, lockdown.
Is that what it was?
And then I was like, I have no job. And I was like, what the hell? And I kept harassing all through the pandemic. I just did little shit to like make ends meet. Like I was just figuring it out. Like, but I just kept telling myself, like, it's going to be fine. Like, we're in a lockdown. We're living way under our means right now. Like, we're fine. And I ended up just harassing Common Ground through that entire time. And I was still taking classes online towards my degree and stuff. That literally, I want to say like within a week of me uploading to my resume that I had my degree, Common Ground hit me back. And then they were like, we're so sorry. It wasn't even about that. Like literally, we just didn't have anyone in this office answering phones during the pandemic. So you were not being ignored. And we appreciate how many messages we received from you in that time. So like, that was something where I was just like, no, I'm getting this. Like, I'm going to keep annoying and keep harassing until I am in that program because I am good enough to be in that program. And so I made that happen. And then I literally did the same exact type of, I don't even know if manifestation is the right thing. It's not the right word because I fucking did that shit. I didn't manifest it. I fucking did it. And I thought to myself, I'm going to get a job at Lifetime next and start teaching out of Lifetimes. And 3 days later, I went to a class at Lifetime where they sought me out and they were like, we need you in this team. We need you in this gym. Just watching me shake ass in the middle of a group fitness room. And I was like,
I've been around that ass.
And I've been there for like, just that, like I made those things like, and so for me to do those things, those are types of things that I never would have thought. Like I was always just like hustling for stupid little jobs, like to make ends meet, waitressing, fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like bikini bars and shit. Like, bro, what? Like, no. And that's fine. I mean, no, great. It's totally fine.
Teach their own. Yeah.
Like if that's not where you.
Yeah. But it's so funny that you were saying like that you don't have enough drive and stuff because like, it's interesting that my job was professional soccer player because I was probably one of the laziest people you've ever met. Like I didn't like working out alone, which is like every off season, that's what you got to do. And I still had this narrative actually I'm still fighting it daily that I'm lazy and that people see me as lazy freeloader type like vibe. And it's like this weird, or like a mess, you know what I mean? And I think that it's because I don't think people are used to the fact that I do a lot of things and I'm okay with it. So right now, you know, like with dance fitness or with this, with writing a book, with this, people just they're not used to that. And so for me, it makes me feel like everyone's like, oh, she's a mess and she doesn't really know what she wants or loves or whatever. And then also on top of it, like I'll set a goal for myself to do like a 30-second plank every night and I'll forget a week later and I'll just stop. Like, so it's like these weird things I can't. But when I truly think about it, I was fucking 9 when I decided to be a professional soccer player. 9. And I checked that shit off my life list. And so manifestation, you said it. Like, no, I went to practice every week. I kicked the ball around as much as humanly possible. Like, I listened to every coach. I was the hardest working player on the field every single, like, team that I was ever on.
Yeah.
You know? My professional career started because someone told someone about me and then someone else told someone. The first time I ever played travel ball, I was 8 years old and I was playing against a U10 team. So they were all 10 years old and we were getting our asses whooped. Like we were losing, but every time like I got the ball, I'd work as hard as I could, and every time I got hit, I'd fall and I'd smile. And so the coach came up to me after and was like, I don't understand you. Like, why did you, I'm like, well, my mom always said to me that like, if someone was trying to knock me down, it's just because I was a threat. Like, it's because I was doing something right. And so
Yeah.
I think that like, I mean, holy life, like lesson right there that I just clicked in my brain at 35 years old. But like, it's so funny, these narratives we have about ourselves and how
Yeah.
easy it really is to like dismantle them. Not
Yeah.
easy as in like, oh, I'll wake up tomorrow and be whoever I'm going to
Right.
be.
It goes away. Like it's still
Yeah,
going to come up for you,
all the time.
but
But
you also use it to drive yourself at this point. Like you use
yeah,
that as a, and I made a post yesterday. I spoke on this exactly. Like you use those things that come up for you as fuel to do it anyways. And then you literally are thriving off of your own bullshit, which is just
yeah,
amazing.
I yeah, I love that aspect of it because it's true.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm using the fact that I have been seriously addicted to social media. Like, wake up, social media. Wait, I've been so into it. I've been using that so that I write. So the second I wake up, if I open Instagram, my alarm in my brain goes, boop, nope, you didn't write yet. Put it away.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
I've been using my like horrible habit to my advantage. Like, yeah, thriving off
Yeah.
my bullshit. But I
Yeah.
think it's like one of those things that like I when we try to assess ourselves or grow, you're just gonna put yourself in situations that suck. Like they
Mhm.
do, like you were like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna do this and I'm going to call them over and over and over again, but not hearing from them sucked. Like it felt like rejection, but they're
Yeah.
like, hey, bro, like there was just no one here. Like we just couldn't answer the
Yeah.
phone. But
Yeah.
seriously, but maybe
Part
there
of me
was
told
someone else.
myself though, like to make myself feel better, I was like, it is the pandemic. Like maybe, maybe this isn't the number right now.
Yeah. Maybe that
Yeah.
Susan's at home. Like
Yes.
maybe
Yeah.
but yeah, but like you kept going and you were like, and maybe there was someone else more qualified for than you,
Yeah.
but maybe because you were persistent and like you were like, not, hey, it's me again. Like maybe
Yeah.
then your name was put on the top of that list. Like, hey, we should call her before she calls us again. You know, like
Yeah.
maybe that's what happened, you
She's
know?
left 15 voicemails since 2020.
And yeah, exactly. But I think that like we all get to these points where it's like we can push and push and push, but I know there's been times for you that you've not wanted to push, that you've wanted to quit. I know you've had a really rough year this
Mhm.
year. I don't know if that's the year that because I guarantee this wasn't your like this isn't the only time you've wanted to quit, but tell me about a time that you're like, I've got this goal or even just in general. I'm over it. I don't want to do this anymore. Tell me about it.
Yeah. As much as I do agree with that, this has been the hardest year of my whole entire life. Um, Something that comes up for me though, when I think about quitting and feeling like I'm going to quit was, so after I got my first mental health degree, I obviously just wanted to roll into going towards my bachelor's for it. And it has actually been brought up to me now by my therapist that she truly, like going back and assessing me and things that I told her from when I was a teenager and stuff, she thinks that I have a disability when it comes to math and solving equations. And because I just always struggled with that so hard to the point of breaking things and crying. And my dad was always like a mathematical genius, but because we had that same lack of patience or irritability, he couldn't help me because he couldn't explain it to me. Like he would just be like, it's fucking F equals whatever. And I don't know why. And then I'd be like,
Yeah.
and like lose my
Yeah.
mind. And then now I'm smoking cigarettes at 15. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like,
It's just a vision.
so right, just smoking cigs. But
Yeah.
like, um, so fast forward now, I'm equally as frustrated because I have to take math classes for my social work degree because that fucking makes sense. Fuck you. To whoever fucking made that up, go fuck yourself. Seriously. Fucking watch this someday when Sammy and I are fucking famous as shit. And you know that I was like,
Yeah.
that's how I feel about you. I fucking hate you. But anyways, so I
Anyways.
over and over again had to keep retaking these fucking classes. And here we are now having to take them from home. And I don't know if that made it worse or better, if I would have done better in person. I was able to get through like the bullshit ones. But when I first tested during my associates, they put me in like a fucking low ass one. Like I had to work my way up. I did so bad. And so it was like elementary algebra is where I started. And then by the time I got to this one part, they were like, you can take these classes. And then somehow it like made it easier for me to transfer over to the university out of the community college if I did it this certain way. And I tried so hard to pass these fucking math classes and I failed. I want to say I took, it was either 3 or 4. I just, the first two or three, I literally just failed. And then on the fourth one, I was like, fuck this. I'm not putting myself through this shit anymore. I can't.
Yeah.
I cannot. So I reevaluated. I was working midnights for the crisis line and I sat there and really got real with myself. And I was like, what though is causing you to fight so hard for this? Like you've got your foot in the door of the job that you spoke about. You can grow in this and just build off of experience. I know some of these positions in this are like, they would prefer that you have this degree, but also that doesn't make or break a lot of this shit. What do you really want to be doing? And I've always had this calling towards fitness and like getting more into it and stuff like that. And at the time I was doing Turn Up Dance Fitness. I was doing these online workouts. I was also doing Beachbody, learning a lot of things about strength training at that time, learning that I really loved strength training and like everything about it. I always associated hating science too with math because I thought math and science just went hand in hand, but I was actually learning how much I loved muscles and joints and bones and anatomy. And I was like, maybe I don't hate science. So I just said, fuck it, and dropped like $600 on a personal training. I just registered to get my personal training certification.
Yeah.
And like in the middle of the night, I was like, I had COVID too. I was just sitting there with COVID, like all extra pissed, like just, and you know, that first round, it was kind of bad. Like I was like, I couldn't taste nothing and whatever. And so I was like, I'm just going to do this, like whatever. And then I'm still continuing my education in some way, but I don't have to keep fucking breaking things around the house, snapping on my family. And if I want to come back to that at some point, I can. It's there. I've been accepted. But right now I'm going to postpone my acceptance to this university and I'm going to do this instead right now because I feel more passionate about this and I think it'll be a break from continuing to try to beat this to a dead horse when it's just not working. And so instead of quitting, because over and over again, and I never did end up quitting. I just kept taking those stupid fucking classes, and didn't get anywhere with it. And then I was like, let's just try something else. But that was like, I felt so like, almost like, I don't know what I'm going to do because I cannot get past this one step and nobody can. And trust me, I literally tried to find or pay my way out of, cheat. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, I couldn't, there was nothing I could do besides unless I was doing it myself.
Yeah. But it's so crazy. I got evaluated. So my first high school was all English and arts and all those things. Like that's what it was really known for. Like, which is actually a big part of why I'm a good writer now. But then I transferred to a new school, and they were all science and math. Like these like ninth graders were in like chemistry 3. Like it was insane. And my brain was like, I couldn't pass anything. And so I went to. Do you remember those Sylvan Learning Centers?
Yes.
Okay, so I went to one of those because I had straight A's and then math.
Yeah.
Every time. And they tested me and I see a 7 and I write a 2. I see a 1 and I write a 7. Like it's like a form of numbers dyslexia. Oh my gosh, when I see numbers real close together, my brain is like, fuck this noise. Like I can't and won't look at those. But yeah, and they're like, oh, that's right. Because I think it was my teacher that was like, you did all the steps right, but all the numbers are wrong. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, you care. That's great. But I think that, like, it's really hard not to, like, judge yourself on these types of things. Yeah. And, like, I felt real dumb. Like, I was, like...
Dumb.
I just
like, you feel so dumb.
So dumb! But at the same time, like, I knew I was intelligent, but it was, like, I can't math.
Yeah.
Like, but I understand the concept, but I can't math. I feel like that's
like also like what's dumb is the fact that we're never in a million fucking years going to need to know the slope and the y equals mx plus b
because we have
nothing.
We have a computer in our hand now.
Of nothing.
Literally,
the hardest math I do is how do you add 20% to the tip? That's it.
The hardest math I do is how much of this is off if it's 30% off. Like that's all. That's all. How much of a deal am I getting right now? Like that is all. But I don't know, like I think it's cool that you, instead of quitting, like, or just like taking a job you didn't like or whatever, you pivoted instead. And
Yeah.
I'm reading the book Followed. Kimberly actually gifted it to me. And I'm reading it. And one of the things was like, instead of stopping, try different.
Yeah.
And like that is with almost like in my right now I'm even doing it with my daughter. Like she's like I don't want to eat that. Like and I'm like, "Do you want do you want some mac and cheese?" And she's like, "No." And I'll be like, "Do you want chicken and mac and cheese?" "Yeah." I'm like, "See? I just try different." Like, "Yeah.
Right.
It's the same fucking meal, child, but hey, you know." But I've been
Right.
doing that a lot in my life. Like I'm not making as much like guillotine decisions about myself. I'm like, "Hey, this isn't working. Like can I pivot instead of
Yes.
canceling myself, canceling
Yeah.
what I'm doing?" And a lot of that is like, and also I think I grew up in a world where I wasn't allowed to quit. Like it was like my mom, even now, if I'm gonna leave a job, even if the job was like trying to cut off my arm, she'd be like, "But did you need your arm?" Like she does not.
Yeah.
My the way that I was raised in quitting, it doesn't compute in my family.
Yeah.
And so it's like for now, I literally took a buffet year. Like I took those words to the heart and I was like, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try like this, I'm gonna try this. I just had a meeting with the city about like all these jobs. I was like, oh no, I don't work there anymore. Oh, I don't work there anymore. Oh no, I don't work there. And I felt like she was like, okay, but I'm like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, and I'm not letting that anymore cause me shame
Right. Yeah.
because I had a 10-plus year career that just ended. I'm literally coming out of college right now. And where most of my friends have their first house and their 12th kid or whatever they have, like I have a 3-year old, a toddler, and I'm 35, and I don't have my second career because for a long time I felt behind. I felt
Oh
like
my
I was
God.
very behind and I felt so like
Dude,
you said the word
say
shame.
less.
I'm like, I feel that because I'm like, I
Yeah.
should be. That word should. I've been really careful this year to move that word out of my vocabulary and should have, would have, and because like again, it's a familial thing. Like I was with all my family in France, and my aunt, my mom's oldest sister, was like, "Oh, we should have done this," and I was like, oh, "It's everywhere. Like it was
Yeah.
you, like
It was
generation."
you.
Yeah, it was you. Uh, but it's like I'm trying so hard not to judge my what happened. I'm trying so
Yeah.
hard not to judge where I am right now. I'm
Yeah.
trying to like even like what I want. Even where I'm going, I don't want to judge it because I don't know what it is. Like, what are you gonna judge? Like, it hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
First, why are you afraid of it if it hasn't happened yet? Why aren't you moving towards it if it hasn't happened? It'll be whatever you make it. And I think that
Right.
in this last year, oh my God, the amount of times I felt so shameful in where I am. Like, I live with my
Yeah.
mom, and that alone, mostly in the dating world, but like that alone, though, is like one of those things where when I say it out loud, the amount of shame I feel, it's like not coming from me, I don't think. But I think a lot of times, like, it makes me feel like I went backwards in life because I was living in a well, actually, I was living on a different continent. I was living in
Right.
Sweden by myself with my daughter, thriving. Had just got
Yeah.
given my like dream job. I was broken. I was recently widowed, but I was independent.
Hmm.
But I was so unhappy.
Yeah.
I was so lost. I was barely holding on. I barely liked my child. Barely.
Dude.
Now, like, while I'm here, I can, if I want to get up at 6 a.m. and go on a walk, I can, and I don't have to wake up my kid. Why? Because my mom is here. I lost
Hmm.
my partner. I lost a live-in partner.
Hmm.
I didn't lose support. I still have support. I still have so many people who love my baby. Like, so many. I mean, all my turn up aunties, like, uh, I have
Yeah.
support, but I lost a piece of something. So it's like, but the shame that I've put on myself,
Hmm.
it is so, it's suffocating and it's
Yeah.
unnecessary
Yep.
because if you ain't paying my bills, like, why do you care where I live? Like,
Right.
literally, why the fuck do people care? You know?
Yeah. And there's such a difference between like you're an entitled little fuck who refuses to leave your parents' nest versus my entire partner died. My whole world's been turned upside down by all these unprecedented things. And this is where I'm at right now. But I'm also taking action to make things happen. And I know that this is, unless it just fucking works for the long, whatever, but like more than likely this is temporary. And I have certain things that I'm chasing,
Yeah, but
I'm not just sitting here doing nothing.
yeah, and I think that for a little while, and even like when I look back at this year and I see those times where I did nothing, like I actually was incapable of doing anything. And like nobody and nobody understands that. Like just being a mom to a child with one parent it's such a weight. And so even in the times where I was doing odd jobs, like you had mentioned, like, oh, I was doing all these BS jobs. I'm like, yeah, me too. Like this year, my taxes are gonna be insane.
Yeah, shit.
I'm gonna have like $100 from here, 200 from here. Like it's gonna
Yeah.
look like I was a touring clown or some shit. Like I don't know, but like it was because maintaining a week schedule with my emotional capability was impossible for me. If my bills were paid, I was happy. I was fine. And like for some of last year, I was taking care of my dad, so I was just like on call.
Yeah.
And also the weight of watching my go-to guy like literally deteriorate in front of me. Like all I
Yeah.
could do was fucking do jobs like so. Like that's all I was like emotionally capable of doing.
Right.
And I didn't really get to grieve my husband. My dad was diagnosed 90 days basically after my husband died.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And
I
working
had to.
like that, that's something that I learned this past year, that the way my job was at that time worked for the circumstance that was happening in terms of how often I had to be at the hospital. And like you just said, like that's what worked for you for that time. So there's no shame in that, because then what would you be feeling shame around? How you weren't there for your dad because you had to be at a 9 to 5? It's one or the other, and we're
It's a
gonna beat
shame.
ourselves up regardless.
Yeah, yeah.
So
My dukes are up to myself anyways.
no
But
matter what, yeah,
I had some of the most beautiful moments with my dad in those 8 months.
yeah.
And I think that even just the way it happened with my husband, that I was actually in the U.S. when my husband passed away in Sweden. So even the way that happened changed how I approached how I was with my dad. I hope you enjoyed that. That is just part one, and I'm leaving you off on a cliffhanger because I really want you to come back for the second half and we dive in even more to all of the juicy bits that you just heard. So please come back and enjoy the second half of the interview with Jay. And please just like, subscribe, do all the things you're supposed to do after a podcast. I love you. Go tell someone they're awesome today. Bye.